Do we have, are those the things? We don't have one? Okay. Okay, we're ready.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Well, good afternoon, Board. I'm Diana Lamar. I'm the new Director of Special Programs. If you haven't met me before. And I'm here to provide you with an update as to the U.S. federal ESSER and ARP funds. I have a presentation. Can you see it?
Yes, thank you.
I know this slide's hard to
Bring it.
Yeah, do we have copies of the presentation? Yeah.
I'll stop.
You can start, because we have something right after, so
Okay.
want to make sure.
This slide is difficult
Yeah.
to read. This is the one that's the most challenging. So the elementary and secondary school relief funds, ESSER funds, were released in 3 waves. The first wave is called CARES, or ESSER 1, then we had ESSER 2, and now we have ESSER 3, which is the American Rescue Plan, also known as ARP. So sometimes you hear the names interchangeably. So these funds were distributed to school districts via the states by the U.S. federal government to assist with reopening the schools due to COVID. In the school district of Osceola County, ESSER 1 and 2 funds were spent predominantly on iPads and technology to initially assist with online learning, and the remaining funds were allocated towards tutoring, professional learning communities, summer school programming, and salaries for computer techs, information technicians, and green shirts. As you note from this slide, and I realize it's hard to read, these funds are almost exhausted and will expire on September 30th of 23. Okay. SDOC received approximately $136 million in ESSER 3 ARP funds. Initially, it was mandated that 20% of these funds were spent on remediation and the balance on other matters pertaining to closing the achievement gap due to COVID. Since the initial release, it is allowable to combine the funds to focus on closing the learning gap due to COVID. SDOC placed these funds into 6 categories, which leaves SDOC with a remaining balance of approximately $51 million. So I will explain the 6 categories. The first is remediation. Approximately $20 million was budgeted for the items that are listed. The balance of $12 million will cover these programs through the end of the grant.
So with the extra PLC hours, is that like a bonus or not what do we call it, like a supplement that we're paying
Professional.
teachers? I know
Right, so
PLC.
last year, the teachers, if they elected to, they could stay after school
Okay.
and work in an hour with their learning teams, just to review data and make plans. And so that is budgeted for this year.
Okay, so is it a supplement that we're giving them?
Right, they get paid their hourly rate of pay.
Okay,
The teachers that choose to do it, it's not mandatory.
okay. And then how many tutors are we able to fund with this?
Well, right now, we're funding the AVID tutors.
Okay.
My understanding is each school gets 4 tutors if they're an AVID school. We also have a separate grant that is a tutoring-only grant. It's a sub-grant from ARP, and that's in the amount of $1.2 million. So we're currently utilizing those funds. So there are plenty of tutoring funds available, either after school, on the weekends, and even in summer. But also, we have another grant, another sub-grant that's available for additional summer school next year in the amount of $4.2 million.
Okay,
Is that 1.2 what went to varsity tutors?
I'm sorry, the 1.2 was
Varsity.
for tutoring. Oh, varsity tutors? For that grant, I don't believe that we haven't really allocated those funds. Varsity tutors was in part of ESSER 2. Okay.
okay.
Okay, on this side? Okay. Okay, the next pot of money is instructional mentor program. Approximately $4.7 million was allocated for this important endeavor, and the balance will cover for this year. And so you do note the last year it was paid from ESSER 2 funds, and so this year it's ESSER 3. So is this the shifting of funding? The next slide is on grant support. Approximately $4 million was allocated to help oversee the grant. This includes the mandatory indirect costs that go to the district for all federal and state grants. The indirect percentage is calculated each year by the federal government, and currently the indirect rate for SDOC is 3.11%. Okay with this? Okay. Next one, curriculum support. Nearly $23 million was allocated into this category, and the balance would cover these initiatives through the end of the grant.
So there are different timeframes for when each of these end, because this one you said through the end of the grant. One of them you said it was through the end of this coming school year. There's no stipulations on some of that on
Well, ESSER 2, which was
September 30th.
is September 30th.
Right.
This grant ends September 24, September 30th, 24. So basically, 1 year, 13 months. Right, this grant does. Okay. Questions on that? No? Okay, the one-to-one initiative or technology. $13 million was allocated to continue assisting with the online and one-to-one technology and computer needs, hotspots, and paying the salaries for the computer techs and green shirts. Strategic plan initiatives. Approximately $42 million was placed in this category to create and implement programs to assist with closing the learning loss due to COVID. And you can see the various initiatives that are listed. Okay. Oopsie, going too fast. Okay, the total remaining balance is approximately $51 million, and previously you saw how the funds are currently allocated. There is approximately $20 million combined in remediation and strategic plan initiatives that is unallocated. The U.S. Department of Education recognizes that the current nationwide teacher shortage and teacher retention has a devastating impact on public education. Therefore, the U.S. Department of Education supports school districts with using ESSER 3 ARP funds to assist with compensation increase and/or teacher bonuses. In conclusion, the programs and initiatives that were implemented by SDOC in early 2022 are fully funded through the remaining of this grant, which ends September 30th of 24. Therefore, we will amend the ESSER 3 ARP grant to provide up to $20 million to assist with recurring teacher retention efforts. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Questions for me?
No? All right, I'm done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Class dismissed.
All right.
When's our next workshop?